All right, you're here once again, the ALLETTO Show. This is episode number 3. We're a week away from the election. We got chaos all over the world, and I'm here with one of the most chaotic people I know. I'd say I've known for a little over a year now. This is Onslaught, from best known from Grimm's Toy Show, GTS Wrestling. What's up, my brother?
What's up, Jay? Happy to be here on the ALLETTO Show.
Yeah.
Is this the inaugural edition?
Episode 3. So you're early. So here's the deal, bro. Here's the deal. I'm going to cut it up into like seasons. Like, this is season 1. There's going to be 10 episodes. And
Okay.
You're number 3. So this is historic for you, bro.
Awesome.
It's like Hogan at WrestleMania 3. You know what I'm saying?
So where are you, at like Eastern State Penitentiary or something? You're like,
Yeah,
looks like you're in a jail cell or something.
I'm locked up, brother. I'm locked up. I say crazy shit on the internet, so people get mad. So I'm in internet jail. Dude, so, yo, man. So, like, how long have you been wrestling? Not that long, right? Considering, you're what, about like 50, 60 years old, somewhere in that range. So kick it off. How long have you been wrestling for? Because I know it hasn't been that long.
I'm 40, and I started when I was 38.
Damn, dude. So you're like a Diamond Dallas Page story, pretty much. You know, like, considering
just worse.
Dude, you're literally the way I look at GTS Wrestling is hopefully the way a lot of the other fans look at it. It's like the 3rd or 4th unquestionably biggest wrestling show in America.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, like, if you look at because I've been watching every episode since I met Grimm a year and a half ago or something, and I floated the idea, like, hey, dude, come film something at the arcade, bro. I manage an arcade, and that's when I kind of got involved. But you being only 2 years into your wrestling career, how long is this going to go for you, brother? I mean, I've seen you do some crazy shit. I actually refereed a match where Grimm took a bunch of light tubes and threw them directly into your face. I had no idea that was happening. So
I don't know how long it's going to last. I seem to be getting a little bit more used to it as time goes on, and my body seems to be a little bit more resilient than it was when I first started. So I don't know. I see what happens. I'm just going to go until I can't go anymore. That's my plan for life in general. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really plan on retiring. You know, I'm just going to go until I can't fucking go anymore. And that'll be it.
And that's the beautiful thing about pro wrestling is that, and I'm not a wrestler. I think I did 1 or 2 training sessions with you guys, got dumped on my head once. And I was sore as fuck. Like, the next day, no joke, I was hurting. I'm 35 years old. I was in fucking pain. But, like that's the thing, is you can actually scale back the amount of bumps you take, especially nowadays, because people are being so creative in the ring and doing all these different things that have never really been the norm in the past.
Yeah, I try to make it more about the story and more about the character than anything. But I am trying to branch out and do more stuff, like, physically, because I don't know, you get bored with things, I mean, not get bored, but I don't know, you want to do a real good clothesline, and then you master that, and it's like, all right, well, what's next? Like, just keep mastering the clothesline, or I don't know. I started doing drop kicks recently.
Dude, I freaking saw that, bro. I saw a match recently, and I don't know when it was, what episode it was, because every day kind of like flows into the next. But you literally, the entire match, you just chilled in the corner. Like, you didn't do you just chilled in the corner, and that was like the name of the game. You sat there while the other dudes did the work, and then you interjected yourself when it mattered. So that kind of stuff, that's going to prolong your career for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the current shtick is Boo XL, because 2XL was garbage, and Dom Truex is garbage.
Whoa.
Well, what?
I mean, look, dude, New Jersey, man, I'm trying to I know who his father is. You're talking about the son of 911, the ECW legend, the choke slam king, the man who I was introduced to ECW on the MSG network at 3 a.m. when I was like 11 by 911 choke slamming guys, bro. You're
Are
not
you
worried
are
about
you
this?
done? Are you done being a mark?
I'm done. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
2XL is garbage. Dom Truex is garbage. Look, I'm gonna put it to you like this. All right. You asked me how long I've been wrestling. Since I was 38. 38. I don't think Truex is even 30 yet. Maybe he just turned 30. And he's been in the freaking ring his whole life. You know what I mean? So if he can't beat me, that's pretty fucking sad, man. You know? Because I've got what, 2 years to his 30? And I'm 10 years older than him? Come on. Come on.
I mean, I don't see. I've seen him power bomb you, bro. I've seen this dude. This dude. Here's the thing about Dom Truex. If anyone's listening to this and doesn't know who Onslaught is talking about, this guy is a monster. He's and not saying you're not, brother. You definitely are. But this dude power bombed you. Could you power bomb him? Could you power bomb him? What do you think?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
in the middle of a fight and the adrenaline's going, see, sometimes you can lift the car up to save your baby, but because that's that's the equivalent. He's 10 years older than me and he's out of shape. He's I don't know. He's garbage and I'm done with him. So anyway, Boo XL is the new wave. Justice Dee Deville, aka J Double D, is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And not just in wrestling, but in life too. Like he's amazing. He's the best partner I could ever ask for. And I have great feelings about it. I think we're gonna go to the top.
dude, here's the thing about GTS Wrestling that I've really enjoyed, because again, I'm a new fan and I'm newly working with Grim and stuff. Like I'm in charge of the Facebook page, which is, I put effort into it time and time again. Not like every day. I'm not too consistent with it, just based on the fact that, he's not paying me shit. And it's like, just, it's one of those things, man. It's just another duty you have to do. And also the TikTok page too just went over 5,000 followers. I'm happy about that, because those videos just spiral out of control sometimes. But I had a question for you and I fucking lost it. But anyway, here's where I was going. It must be the weed. Here's where I was going. So the thing I've noticed about watching the show for about a year is you can go through all these different creative phases and dip and dive kind of out of shit and into shit real quickly. Like there was a time period where you guys had like a Terminator and everybody was getting shot with a gun, and a time period where the whole show revolved around Grim just being completely drunk. And now we went from having like a summer where it seemed like competition. Competition's still there, but competition was kind of the focus of the show. And now we're heading into a more of like a horror show type thing with all these Halloween characters. And that just kind of shows the dynamic of how this show is produced and what you guys can do from a creative perspective. So, that's kind of my take on just watching it for a year. Were you like a big fan of the show before you like joined up with them, or what?
I had never even seen it, honestly, until Swanson and Urkel were on it, and they were showing me. And there was one scene where Urkel was like, he was like wedged between the ring and the wall, and like he kept trying to get out, and I kept just wedging him back in there. And I don't know, I thought that was so funny, and that was like one of the original things that kind of made me like, oh, all right, like this is kind of funny, you know what I mean? And then the more you like, then I came out and saw it live, and then you don't really, I don't know, when you see it live, you're like, oh man, like, because I mean, editing and everything is so important, and it just, Grim has a real touch with like bringing everything together. So I don't know, it was a slow sell on me. I wasn't sold on it right away. I got sold on it because of the people, you know what I mean? And because everyone just kept trying to get me to do shit. And then finally I was like, fine.
Yeah,
But
man. And that's freaking awesome, because, I spent 3 days, I think, at the yard with you guys. And first time I was there, of course, a little bit nervous. Didn't know really anyone outside of Grim and shit, and and you guys just kind of accepted me in. Like everybody was kind of cool. Everybody came up and talked to me individually. Second time was even better. Third time was better. And then I didn't go back for whatever reason, but I will be going back at some point after this COVID thing is fucking over. But the atmosphere is great because everybody kind of works together. And like a team, you win and you fail together. So
Right.
what do you think, dude? Do you think you guys are gonna possibly like continue to get bigger and grow? You think like that's in the future or what? Like, what are your aspirations in wrestling? Is this like as far as you want to go? You want to hit that indie scene hard once everything starts opening up again? Because I guarantee you there's gonna be opportunity.
Yeah, I've thought about that. And there's going to be opportunity, but there's also going to be competition, and that's already oversaturated. Um, Even now, it's still oversaturated. I don't think it's gutted like enough of like what it needs to get rid of. But um, I don't know. That's a lot of questions. Um, I'm kind of just playing my aspirations. Like I've always told Grim that I wanted my success in wrestling to come through GTS. I didn't see myself going out and getting success on the indies and then getting signed. Like I saw my success kind of being through the show and helping the show grow and become, you know, something. I mean, it's already big and it's already growing, but I don't know. I think GTS needs to go down in the history books, and needs to be archived and I don't know. It needs to be like properly, I guess, archived and um saved. And because I think over the years, I think people will really come to recognize it for what it is, and that's just like the only real wrestling show that's on a major platform. Everything's so scripted and so watered down, and you can't do and say anything, that we're like the only like real wrestling that's, I think, that wrestling fans can watch. And I think people realize that over time. I mean, I'm not knocking any other products. Like there's plenty but back in the day, and I'm sure you remember that, like, you had to push people's buttons to make good heels, and that's what made good faces. You had to the heels had to like come out and piss people off, and the only way you do that is by saying inappropriate and things that make people upset. And now it's like you can't make anybody upset. So it's a fine line. We can't, there's certain things we can't do, but we try to push it as much as we can because, I don't know, that's how you build good heels, and that's how you build a good show, is by making people upset.
Yeah, it's the emotional factor. You
Yeah.
have to get, that emotional connection with the audience. And I think that's basically what everyone tries to do across media and across entertainment in every aspect, even the election stuff. Like with the election, and that'll be actually the final question of the night that I'll give you, is something related to that, but a little more lighthearted. They tug at your heartstrings as hard
Oh
as
yeah.
they can.
Oh,
They're selective with it, but they're calculated.
yeah. It's definitely just emotional puppeteering, you know. And that's why, I think that's why I enjoy. I think politics is important. I enjoy politics because it's like wrestling, and I think wrestling is life is a lot more like wrestling than I think anybody realizes. You know what I mean? Like everything's, you
Yep.
know, there's just so many parallels, and I've really, like, the people that I've met and like the conversations that I've had and stuff in wrestling have really made me appreciate um, just wrestling. It's a great thing. And I don't know, I've been watching a lot of Dark Side of the Ring lately. you know, and it, it's hard, you know, because that's all part of it. You know what I mean? Like it's like the carnyism and all that shit is like it's a part of it. It's inherent in it. You know, just like sexism and racism and all those bad things that we can't do now were part of it in like the 80s and the 70s and going back even further, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, there's evolution to fucking everything, bro. And
And
yeah,
I
go ahead.
that made me that brought up a thought that you were saying about the show, how there's like different um like phases and stuff
Yep.
and different um I
It's
don't know.
almost easy. It's almost easy to pivot from one, like you could be in like balls deep in a storyline, or like just doing something where, you know, that you think that's where the show's headed in the long term, and then all of a sudden it takes a complete turn and it's a
Right.
180, and then there's a zombie, and there's like there's a return of a former GTS star that you haven't seen in forever, that, you know, maybe the new group of fans don't know, and that gives them the ability to go back and watch old footage. I mean, there's so
Right.
many different parallels, and they all come out of nowhere, and that's a beautiful thing about pro wrestling that lacks sometimes, I think, especially on the major scale where we all know what's going to happen most of the time anyway.
What I'd like to see GTS and Grimm do is capitalize on the success of the past by, you know, WWE used to put out DVD compilations of things, you know. I'm not saying put out DVDs, but I'm saying put out a best of compilation that's just, um, hosted by Grimm and whoever else, you know, is in the segment or is in the whatever. Have them do some backstage commentary on it, you know, throw some little backstage, you know, stuff in there, and then just rehash the old story. You know, tell like this is the, you know, the best of the old yard. You know what I mean? The best of the second yard, the best of the first warehouse. You know what I mean? Like I think fans would eat that up because they love the nostalgia. They're always like asking for anybody that's not there. You know, like, you know, Nightmare. I still see people commenting about Nightmare, and like it's just because he's not there.
Uh-huh.
It's there's no other reason. And maybe the kid liked the pumpkin mask or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but that's the only thing. Like he's just not there.
You had maybe the craziest match with that guy. Like that match was fucking crazy. That late night. What was the story behind that? What did you guys film that at like 2 in the morning? Like what was going on there? Like what the fuck? Like I remember that. That's when I first started watching the show. And I literally was thinking to myself, what the fuck? I know where the show's at. Obviously, I grew up, you know, in the area where the show's at. So like I'm just like, well, how are they doing this like late at night, 2 in the morning in this town? Like it doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't 2 in the morning.
It felt like it. It sure as fuck felt like it in the
He said
video.
it was
So
like
you
3
know.
a.m. or something at the
Yeah.
beginning. It was
Yeah,
like
that's
I
it.
don't know. It was like 8 or 9 at night. It wasn't really that late. And we didn't have that many people there. You know. Um, I mean, truth be told, um, all right. The story behind that whole thing. He wanted the match. Like he came in when we were still in the warehouse, in the second warehouse, and he wanted the match with me. Like he wanted a feud with me, and he just kind of took it. You know what I mean? Like anytime there was a brawl or whatever, he'd like come and like get me, and like, you know, he made it a point so that I had to like be in a fucking program with him. And I'm not complaining because I'm happy with the way that that came out. Um, and he did most of the work on that. Like it was my idea to do the match, the Nightmare in Hell or whatever. Like um, it was my idea to have a big match, and honestly, I think, you know, it was the intention to put him over in the first place, but some stuff happened, and, you know, didn't play out that way. Um, so yeah, he did most of the decorating and everything, and all the lighting and shit, and we worked together on that, and yeah, it came out all right, you know. For I mean, he's I won't say anything bad about him, but you know.
Yeah, say no more, bro. I'm in that I'm in like a kind of a group chat with some of you guys, and like that I know what you're talking about. So here's the thing though, man, about a match like that is like I've seen thousands of wrestling matches,
Yeah.
and very few times do they absolutely stick in my memory anymore. And that one sticks in my memory because it was just something I've never seen that done in that setting and stuff, and it was really fucking cool. But just to
That
pivot
was
on
the
that, like,
point. You
go,
know, the
yeah,
point
it was
the
cool. It was
point
different.
was to make it look different and make it stand out with, with this, just the look of it, with the black light and everything. Like that was the whole, and it wasn't even at Halloween, right? It was in
It was
fucking
it was WrestleMania season, dude. It was WrestleMania
springtime.
season. Yo, what are you guys gonna do another one? You guys should do another one.
Yeah.
Joey Angelo. You and Joey Angelo.
Oh my God. He would do it.
You would do it, dude.
He would
Dude, that
do
kid is crazy. Like I went to an indie show with you guys and kind of was helping out, just hanging around. And he's the one I hung out with the most at that show. I'm pretty sure you were there. It was in my town, Barnegat. Fuck, I just revealed it. No big deal. So it was one of those local indie shows. So yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
it. It's
But
either
anyway,
SWF or
yeah, it was that one. It was that one.
Yeah.
I put a mark when you mentioned your idea of YouTube compilation videos. I put like a little hashtag here on my notepad because I have pitched all of these like so many ideas to Grim before, and he just doesn't do it. I think a great idea would be to get like a freelance videographer that
Yeah.
you pay very little money to. You give him an objective, like go through these videos. Here's the time frame. Go through these videos. Find matches. Here are the matches to find. Here, and he'll do all the video work and throw it all together, and it'd be super fucking easy to get done and quicker than you would think. But dude, there's so many other things you guys should do.
Also, yeah, like the way that even the channel, because I mean, let's face it, our main thing is YouTube and Twitter, and now TikTok's coming in there, but like I don't use that, and like whatever, that's still working its way in. Our main thing is YouTube and Twitter, and I think we do a pretty good job on Twitter of maintaining storylines and stuff. But the the GTS channel starting to remind me of like you watch The Office, right?
I've seen it. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, there's this one where they're like they're getting a new website or something. And they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with the website that we have?" And it's like, you know, there's a guy, like a construction guy. It's like under construction, coming winter of 2003 or something like that. It's just like outdated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so on that channel, when if you're directing everybody to that channel, the first things that come up should be the first things related to what's happening currently. You know what I mean? You're, a trailer for the build up for the next pay-per-view or whatever, instead of just a generic trailer. And then the first thing that you see is actually my match from Mania 2 years ago, which, it just, I don't know. I think we have to focus more on what we focus on and how we share it. You know what I mean? Like we need like more like little video compilation clips that go here and there, and then they drive people here, and you know what I mean? And then they just everything goes right to the channel, and then the channel isn't very easy to navigate. You know what I mean? I probably shouldn't be saying all this stuff on freaking podcast, but like, I don't know. If we're not going to go the route of having our own network, which I think if we could do that would probably be the best way to go, because we wouldn't have to worry about any kind of restrictions, nothing. But if we're not going to do that and we're going to stick with the YouTube thing, well, then we should at least keep the channel updated and have the channel working for us and not against us. Have it promoting the storylines, because the storylines are what keep people invested, and yeah, the spots are cool, but we need growth, you know.